Hi, everyone, and welcome. This is Karen Newman. This is the Saturday Human Colony Hucolo webinar. It is Saturday, the 4th of December, 2021, and we have today a very special person, very dear friend of mine. Her name is Terri Rainier. She's here. And let me just turn this off. There we go. There we go. Sorry about that. So we're excited to have Terri here today. She's going to be channeling the divine realm, talking about her work as a practitioner of, what do you practice? What is your practitioner work? So I know.
So basically just assisting people becoming their personal best to be able to manifest their life dreams.
So, yeah, that's fantastic. Okay, we'll start with a little blessing and then we'll come right back to you, Terri, if we can. All right, Susan, why don't we go Susan and then Angie? Yeah.
He sia to koya ia sia to koya ia he sia tika tikutoya ia si toya ia sia to koya ia ia sukutia ia sia to koya ia sia to koya sia takaya tukutoya sia takia sukutuya sia to koya ia sakia. Blessings, dear one, dear ones.
Thank you. Angie.
Tua naniata ka ayata shu'u. Nu otu ka ana mutakara otu. Yara ko mamniata kia. Ho oro otu nu chishania. Hata awa kia nana o tia shesha. I kia nana o apatikia. Nohara yanana. So I'll just do a quick announcement saying that we are about ready to schedule the next class. It has not been scheduled yet. If you are interested in any particular class or information that you would like a class on, please email classes@hucolo.org and I will get you into a particular group. We can have Jim and we can figure out what the best desire is for the next class. Classes@hucolo.org and send me an email.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah, thank you. So Terri, I'm going to switch to make you on full screen here so everyone can see your pretty face. Let me see here. There you are, spotlighting you for everyone. Great. So Terri Rainier, welcome to Human Colony. Can you just tell, for the people who don't know you, a little bit about yourself, what you're doing, and how you kind of came into channeling and how that started for you?
Sure. Yeah, I'm so grateful to be here and to be a part of this. It's wonderful to see you again, Karen, and thank you for having me. And let's see, well, it's been a lifelong journey, this kind of spiritual opening process, and I have lived a very conventional life. I continue to do so. I am a consultant and in supply chain and also business coach, as well as a life coach, and facilitating you to be your personal best, and so that you can manifest your dream life. And I love having both sides of me, where I get to play in the divine and with the divine realm, as well as also being grounded in this kind of thing we call life, and from a human perspective as well, and allowing myself and my life to be a bridge between those two things. I started channeling. I realize now I've been channeling for a long time. I just didn't understand it. It's that. But more recently in 2017, Kathy Orton, we were involved in Rika Zimmerman's coaching program. I'd already been doing a lot of meditation with Brenda Morgan, and all of these things kind of culminated in my life for an awakening. And in that moment when Kathy put her forehead against mine, like all these memories from a past life, from a past planetary life, came to be. And just, it was overwhelming, all of the images and memories that came flooding through. And as I started like rattling off all these questions, another voice came in And I said, well, who are you? And they're like, well, we're the divine realm. We're here to help you understand everything that is going on for you right now. And so since then, it's been a journey of understanding and learning more and more about what is beyond our human life, the way we tend to understand it, and seeing a bigger picture of what's going on in the multiverse. And I certainly don't know all any, I have seen a small fraction of what they have shared with me. And I know that there's so many more mysteries out there, but I feel so much more grounded and safe in my personal life as a result of being able to have these experiences. And more people are able to channel. And that's the other thing the divine realm has shared, is that, we all have the ability to channel and to call in the assistance from others, and that so much comes from within ourselves, and just allowing ourselves to remember that wholeness of who we really are.
That's really so true. And actually, when we first met, it was 2018, I think we met. Yeah, 2018.
Yes.
And you had really, just started channeling, and it was so beautiful. And I want to know, like, what has changed for you over this last, because a lot can happen in 2 years of channeling, 2 or 3 years now on. How has it changed for you? Is it just a more comfortable feeling? Have you defined your message, your direction more with them, what you wanted to do? Because you had a lot of direction that you were starting to go into at that time. So what's really evolved for you in this?
There's been more clarity from the perspective of, I keep asking them, how can I be the best channel for you, and for the messages that would be most helpful for humanity. And they keep coming back to the relationships, right? The relationship that we have with ourselves, with how we're relating to our bodies, our emotions, our mental aspects, like how we're combining those things and remembering the wholeness of who we truly are. So there's been more focus from that perspective. Yes, I still go play on my other planetary realms and astral travel and all that kind of fun stuff. However, that's more of an escape from the human life. And there's been much more awareness of the beauty that this earth life is really intended to be. So that while I can go and play on the other planetary dimensions, that I have a much greater appreciation for the gift of planet Earth and the gift of being in a human body. And so that has really come more and more into focus in the last,
That's interesting, because a lot of people, when they first kind of have this sort of awakening, they're like, I don't belong here. I need to be somewhere else. And you've kind of said, no, I really have to be here and be in here and really experience this to the fullness of what it is. And that's a very beautiful discovery, I think.
Yeah, and they're saying more and more, it's about being in the now, right? So I think we've all heard this for so long. Well, many that would be listening to this, maybe not the mainstream. We are realizing more and more the value of being in the present moment, and the value of understanding our gifts as creators, and manifesting that which we truly desire in our lives, and our ability to manifest in combination with that spiritual alchemy, right? So allowing that divine to arise within us, to be recognized, and then allow that to manifest in the physical, with the mental and emotional all being supported together.
The thing about the being in the now, it stretches time, as opposed to, if you're really in the now experiencing everything, you can really stretch and, just bathe in the experience of something so much more than if you're focused on the future or on the past, which neither one are existing any moment. It is only now. So they say if you focus on the future, it causes stress. If you focus on the past, it causes depression. So you really have to just stay in this now moment, I think. Yeah. So with your coaching practice, explain to me what it is you're doing? Because when I first met you, you were doing a training actually with the woman that you mentioned. And it was a very encompassed, a very big training that you were doing. It was for was it several years or a year?
It was a 2-year program to become a life transformed advanced coach. Yes.
So explain what that is then.
So basically, it's about understanding how our beliefs limit us and how staying in the past and allowing the past to define us and leaving the past in the past and recognizing where we can go in the now to create a new future. So that is, and letting go and rewriting. You can rewrite past. There's so many different tools that can be utilized to be able to release the past, embrace what those skills and the experiences have been to encourage us to be in a better place now, so that we can then create going forward, understanding who we truly are,
Right.
and allow ourselves to be the new that we want to be.
So in rewriting the past, you kind of basically rewrite your future then.
Yeah, and you get to create that future from a clean slate instead of one that's all cluttered. So,
Right.
have the blank sheet in front of you and now say, what colors do I want to choose? What vibrations do I want to bring in? Not based on what happened in the past, but say, okay, yeah, there were some great things that I've learned. Okay, now I'm in this place. I've let go of some of these beliefs that were limiting, and I've encompassed the value of who I truly am and the divine of who I am, and how do I want to move forward in creating my life and manifesting the dreams.
So that makes me, I've been playing with the word. It's not unique to me at all, but I've been playing with it a lot because I've been thinking a lot about it. But radical forgiveness, is that part of this program?
Yes, it definitely is. And it's fascinating because it's not always about forgiving other people. It's also about forgiving ourselves. And, I came to take care of my mother in 2015, and there was so much forgiveness after my father passed away. She was in a state of Alzheimer's. And there was so much beauty that went on in the realm of forgiveness with family matters. And then it was so beautiful to be able to go through this 2-year program, because it's not about learning how to be a coach as much as it is too about understanding our own growth and our own evolution. And so that then by going through that ourselves, then we can align to be able to facilitate others' journeys.
But talk about forgiveness of the self, because I think a lot of people think that in forgiving someone, that it's all it I think, well, let me rephrase the question. Sometimes people have the problem with forgiveness because they think that lets the person off the hook, but truly it doesn't. It lets us off the hook.
Right.
So we can put it down and not
Yeah.
but forgiving ourselves as well. Can you talk a little bit more about that with forgiveness?
Yeah. So, with forgiveness, there's a way that we have beliefs about why we need to hold on to this I'm right energy and they're wrong. Well, forgiveness is really about releasing all of that, because from a spiritual alchemy perspective, you can look at it and go, oh, well, those experiences were just that, experiences. And I can learn from those experiences and others can learn from those experiences. But when we hold it in a belief that around right and wrong, it creates all kinds of levels of separation. And from the divine perspective of wholeness, you then start seeing that forgiveness isn't really about the other person. It's about understanding the wholeness of life. It's about understanding how we have created certain situations to arise to experience it. And so from this other perspective, a higher dimension of perspective, you can see that all experiences are just that, and that nothing has to be right or wrong. What occurs from the divine perspective is that we go, wait, there's innately an understanding of this wholeness that leads us to a place of, well, of course, I want to be that which I would like to receive. So I'm going to treat others as I would like others to treat me. So instead of it being, well, I don't want to now hold a grudge towards somebody else because somebody else might be holding that grudge towards me. Instead, there's a certain allowance that occurs that says, well, I'm going to love this person anyway. And in that process of loving them, I'm also loving myself, because I'm not holding on to this right wrong. I'm now seeing the bigger picture of how love arises in the wholeness of life itself, that it's only through the separateness is where we see the discord and hold the grudges. So in wholeness, I see my mother as me. I see my father as me. I see the love that exists within the parent-child relationship.
Right.
And it became a very different experience that I ended up having with my mother in her state of Alzheimer's and my father now in spirit form. So it was fascinating. And, it was interesting that I was in Bali in the middle of a spiritual session with some of the indigenous healers there. And my father came to me in one of those and he said, you need to forgive yourself. And I realized, I was like, oh my gosh, there had been so much where I was still holding some anger towards him. And in that moment, I realized, no, that I needed to, once I forgave myself, then that anger just completely dissipated. And it was fascinating to see that, because I had a lot of anger around how he died. And so I had to release, and, I mean, when your father dies suddenly and you never expected that, then there's that tendency to feel like, hey, why did you do this? So why did you go out on a motorcycle when you're 72 years old and decide that's something you're going to go do? And without having more recent training. So anyway, so then I was also blaming myself because I had recently gone and received a motorcycle license and purchased a motorcycle and didn't realize that he was doing that too. And so then I was blaming myself that, oh, if I hadn't have done that, then he wouldn't have, and then he would still be alive today. So there was a whole lot of stuff that was going on that had to get unraveled with that. But the key here really is about the more that we can love ourselves and see that all are just divine experiences. And then I got to have this wonderful relationship with him in spirit form. That was a gift in and of itself. So yeah, allowing ourselves just to be in the wholeness of who we truly are. Understanding that everybody else is in theory in the wholeness of who they are too. Not in theory, that is reality. We just put up boundaries and create separation that veils the wholeness of who we truly are.
Yeah. They call them the tattvas, the coverings that, they peel them away, and then there's something more and something more and something more. We'll cruise along and something else will come up. And I do a lot of counseling with people, and I was talking to a guy and he's like, I thought I worked through this, and he was really frustrated. And I said, well, it just shows that there's something new coming up to be healed, not so that you can blame yourself or dive back into it and re-explore it, but that's so that you can truly heal it and let it go, because it's time and you must be ready. You must be able to, or it wouldn't have come up for you. You know, I said the universe is good to you that way. They're not bringing it to you to punish you. They're bringing it to you to say, and now this layer can go. But you know, if you hadn't removed all the other layers, you wouldn't even have gotten, you know. I always think about my house when I first bought it. It had like, it was 100 years old and had about 13 layers of wallpaper. I feel it was like going back through time. You know, there's the 70s. Oh, there's the 20s, you know. Yeah. And then I got to the bare wall, and the wall was basically crumbling down. You know, it all had to be rebuilt. And I was like, oh, this is metaphoric if I've ever seen it, you know. But forgiveness is such, I think as I move forward, it's just so alive for me right now, that forgiveness of yourself, forgiveness, quick forgiveness too, just right away, right to the, you know, don't hold it, just forgive. So hi, Blue Vision Oracle. So yeah. Okay, so if you're ready, we would love to meet the divine realm, or if you had something else, I want to really leave it to you, how you want to do this next hour to hour and a half, depending on how you're feeling with everything. Do you have water? You have tea? You're good?
I have water. Thank you.
Yeah. So how would you like to proceed?
Sure. So I can bring in the divine realm, and then from there, maybe after we then can have some questions. If people want to ask the divine realm some questions, they can.
Okay.
I'll do a little message, and we'll see if somebody has some questions. And
is there a specific area that they talk about and things they don't really touch on, or is it, you know, do they talk about different races of beings, or do they specifically work more with spiritual questions? What is their focus mostly?
they have accepted a wide variety of questions.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Actually, Susan, who's on here now, the two of us do a divine duo session once every couple months, and so yeah, together it's pretty cool. We both answer people's questions from the channels that we channel her. Anyway,
right.
so yeah, the light folks were channels for them. So
Okay.
also what happens sometimes is others besides the divine realm will come in, and if they do, they'll name themselves.
Okay.
But
So you had said when you were just in the very beginning of the conversation, you had said you had a sort of past life, not past life, but other planetary memory. Where was that from?
So originally, my initial past life memory was from the Andromedan galaxy, and then I've had plenty of other experiences now that I realize as I kept playing with it, with the Arcturians and also the Palladians. So
Very cool. All right, so I will just leave it to you, and Susan, maybe we can have you on another time. That would be fantastic to have you here. So, okay, Terri, I'm going to put you back on full screen so I can, let me see, how do I do that? I know how. Ha! I've done that. I've been doing this for years, and now all of a sudden I forget how to do it. Okay. All right.
hello, dear ones. We are the divine realm. Consciousness prior to creation. We would like to emphasize for you today how your consciousness, whether you are aware of it or not, is creating your life experiences. We would like to bring special attention to your physical form on this day. In your physical being, you have a universe within you. Each of your cells comprises many galaxies. Your heart, your liver, your lungs, your intestines, your muscles, your skeletal system, your nervous system. They're like mini galaxies within you. You are the prime creator. Within your galaxy, your multiverse of galaxies, know that. Be in relationship with all of them. Call upon each of your mini galaxies to have relationship, conversations. As you tend to the relationships within you at the cellular level, and you heal your physical bodies and bring optimal well-being within you, it allows for a healing to occur energetically to all those around you as well. There are many in the spiritual community who cast off the physicality of your human presence and your earthly existence. We encourage you to be in relationship with every cell of your being. In this way, you are alchemizing your health, your happiness, your presence, your playfulness. After all, life on earth is intended to be a playful experience. Yes, there have been others that have come to the earthly plane to play with separation and take it to an extreme. We are here to remind you that in your wholeness, yes, you do have individual expressions. And each of those expressions are intended to be playful, to have fun, to enjoy the physicality of life, to co-create together as human beings, to co-create with other sentient beings. There is a time now on planet Earth where the veil has been removed. Do not stay stuck in past thoughts and beliefs about what was. Move forward into the present, understanding the wholeness and the divine that you are. As you align your physicality with your spirituality, you get to live the life you truly desire. The divine lies within you. Allow all the miniature galaxies within you to be working together harmoniously so that you feel your best self. in your physical strength and flexibility. Your body is free for your spirit to move through it, to express, to enjoy life, to co-create with others. The earth would like to play too. Allow yourselves to play in nature, to play together. Listen to the messages that the trees are sharing, the river that rolls by, the sounds of the ocean, the whispers of the wind. You can be in relationship with all of it on a much deeper level, in a co-creative way, to bring more rain when rain is needed, to bring more sun when sun is needed, to allow the clouds to come and go as needed, to create more happy times on the planet, releasing the separation, the belief of separation, the belief that you're not impactful in the world. Release those beliefs. Know that in the wholeness of you, as you walk away and as your own mini universe, in the collective of the multiverse, you are making waves. You are impactful. Trust your inner knowing. Align with your divine in your physical form and enjoy happy, playful moments together. We invite you to ask any questions at this time.
Okay, perfect. Ian has a question. Go ahead, Ian.
Hi, thank you for being with us today. My first question is a simple question. I don't know if it's a simple answer, but I was wondering if you could please define what the divine realm is. Is it a collective? Is it a collective? And a collective of what or whom?
Yes, it is the collective of consciousness prior to creation. Some may refer to this realm as God, but not God in a singular. God, the word God, can seem limiting to some human minds. It is an existence that's prior to the creation of a creator. It's the realm of consciousness that is infinite in possibilities, that is pure potentiality. That divine, as a collective, is expressed through the creation process. The consciousness resides with the infinite, with the pure potentiality. And then creation arises from that consciousness.
Thank you for that. And another question I have is, you talked about how each individual needs to play and experience and enjoy their life that we have on this earth. What is our individual role or the collective humanity, the collective role of humanity that's on the earth, how does that role, our role, play or ripple throughout the multiverse?
Yes, we thank you for this question. Earth was created as a representation of many other planetary existences. At one time, one moment in the creation process, there were 12 other planetary beings that came together. These races came together to create Earth. The topography of Earth represents vibrationally pieces of each of these other 12 planetary existences. Each planet sent 12,000 pods to create Earth. And in the evolution of Earth, many things were created. The trees, the sea beings, and then humans. And as each evolved, as each version of these beings evolved on planet Earth, that wholeness represented an opportunity for Earth to be the intergalactic playground, so that each of these different races could be together on one planet to experiment and play with that.
And what is what we do on Earth? Does what we do on Earth impact other planetary forces within the cosmos, within the multiverse?
Since the veil has been released, now it does. Previously, when the veil existed, it was meant for Earth to evolve and to allow for it to grow and expand and experience in a way that was not interfered with. Then came a time when there was some interference. And then there is a release of the veil that has now occurred that allows for the ripple effect to go beyond planet Earth back in to the other planetary existences.
And what ripple effect, what does that cause to happen outside of Earth? Like what would be the result of a ripple effect, as an example?
The result is that now they have a sense of what the physical dimension represents.
Okay.
In that, they now can experience the kind of pain that we feel as humans. They feel that too. In your human existence, there is always we. We are a collective. The divine consciousness is the collective of the we. The we goes beyond Earth beings. It goes on into the intergalactic community. There cannot be anything now that is truly separate. Everything is impacting and affecting the other. This is why we bring the message to you to be mindful of your physical universe that you have within you. The more that you create that harmony and understand that wholeness within you allows for the we to be realized in that wholeness at the collective level, beyond planet Earth, into the multiverse.
Okay, thank you very much. I find that answer so fascinating because we're always so focused on on Earth because this is where we live. And until now, and until your statement and your explanation just now to my question, your response, I had never really thought about the ripple effect of what Earth has on the rest of the cosmos until now. And I just find that fascinating that as what we do here on Earth has a much larger impact than just Earth, it's also impacting the rest of the cosmos. So thank you very much for that answer. I find that fascinating.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, Ian. Okay, Carol says you answered her questions in that question. What you're talking about is what they talk about in physics is quantum entanglement, that a thought we have here can affect a cell or a organism in another galaxy, basically, that we are really so very connected and there's really no distance between anything. It's just so much of it is just illusion as far as distance is concerned. Susan has a question. Go ahead, Susan. Susan, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Great, go ahead.
Okay, sorry, I just had to get myself off mute. Thank you very much, Divine Realm, for being here with us today. And my question has to do with shifting your consciousness. And of course, this group has advanced understanding of our consciousness, but we don't know what we don't know. We're in our own little bubble, and we don't know all the full infinite possibilities of how we could where we could go with our consciousness. What do you advise? You talked about our bodies. You talked about being in alignment with nature, and you may not have meant that, but that sounds like like an organic way of moving into shifting. If we wanted to direct it specifically, how do you recommend we do that, given that we don't know the full possibility of what's infinite out there?
Yes. Thank you for your question, Susan. The level of consciousness is continually evolving. As you allow for awareness through observation, you can determine where you are at the conscious level. For example, we would like to talk about bodies, and this can be applied in any way. But at the conscious level, on Earth, there are holidays occurring. And so people will be like, oh, it's the holidays. I always gain weight at the holidays. There's so much food and festivity. Well, then the body gains weight because the consciousness has created that. Your consciousness could be that, oh, I can partake in all types of foods and festivities, and yet my body represents an alignment to its greatest health, and it has the ability to speed up its metabolism, to allow the vibration of the food to flow through rather than to get stuck in so-called fat cells. So this is an experience of consciousness from a physical. You can apply it to an emotional level. Perhaps being around family at the holidays can trigger past emotions. there are ways that humans box each other in and see the children that you were instead of seeing the adults that you now are, allowing each other to be curious about one another instead of consciously choosing to continue seeing that other person as they were. And in your observation, you keep asking, how can I continue to open more and more my level of awareness? If you find yourself feeling triggered about a particular situation, then it is usually due to a belief in your consciousness. As you allow, that was earlier discussed, forgiveness to take place, and to allow for a fresh slate to be in the present, then now, how do you want to co-create with your loved ones in the holidays? What type of experiences do you want to have? Rehashing the old or co-creating a new playful experience?
Thank you very much. Oh, did you? Sorry, did you have more?
Yes, there is a feeling sense here that there is more. Even when it comes to how you view your own evolution, for there not to be judgment about it, to allow the compassion to arise, to just be present with the journey. See it all as an experience, not one to be judged, just to observe. And then with conscious awareness, focus the intention, the attention, and action on that which you'd like to create next. Whether that is in a career, or in a relationship, or in your physical body. It's through that conscious awareness that manifests the next experience. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Annie has a question. Go ahead, Annie.
Hello, I want to thank you for being here today. Your energy is exquisite. I feel very blessed just to get to share in the energies and the messages that you're bringing forward. We had a day yesterday where we witnessed nature all day. We got to lay by waterfalls. We got to lay underneath the trees, feel the air, and then we built a fire just so we could enjoy all the elements. So I really agree with that message. It just changes everything. It's like it redesigns our templates because we witnessed that, and now it's a part of us. And so it's every time then we go back out within nature, it's like the experiences that we witnessed just are more enhanced, and it's like we're more awake to what nature provides. So I agree with that, and I thank you for offering that as part of your message today. So I have two questions. My first question is about interdimensional beings that are not in physical form. If there's any understanding you can offer concerning them. And the one in particular that I know of has been in physical form prior and actually misses it.
Yes, there are many. As you look out at the stars at night, each of those stars represent life forms. There are many interdimensional beings existing in the multiverse. And there are those that have come and experienced human life and have gone back to their other planets. And yes, there are those that now understand the beauty of the human experience in a new way, in a way that was never understood before from a place of observation. Because of that veil being released, those beings get to experience human life. Sometimes there are miracles that occur, and it is a result of one of the interdimensional beings coming in to aid that person's situation. And the miracle is a result of that interdimensional being co-creating with them to bring them back to the fullness of their life. There are many humans that do not realize that there are interdimensional beings living within them. Not to scare you, but to know that the wholeness of who you are is not always singular in your physical presentation. Just as you have experienced many lifetimes, all those lifetimes of who you were as a human and as an intergalactic being are now within you in your current human form. That knowledge, those experiences, all are in you. And as you allow yourself to understand all those aspects, and allow the relationship to be in the knowing of wholeness, it allows for the co-creation of all of it and your expression of happiness.
Thank you. That's fascinating to really look at. It's a new awareness. And then my second question is just it appears there's so many different collectives out there. Can you speak to the collective called EL?
Yes, like you say, there are many collectives. And the different collectives have certain agendas. And not that agendas are a bad thing. Agendas are just visions that each collective holds and would like to see manifested.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your share. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. There is a question. Was that complete, Annie? Okay, great. All right, Wendy has a question, and then we'll go to some questions from the YouTube chat. But go ahead, Wendy. Wendy?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No problem.
I thought I hit I thought I hit unmute. So the question that I have is regarding the human body and how the multiverse within us, which I have been working with and experiencing personal gain as far as benefits to health that have improved over this past year as I've been learning to manifest more and more through conscious intent. So I would like to know how is it that most, it seems, the female gender tend to hold on to what we would consider body fat or cellulite, whereas the men tend to release that from their physical form. Is that a physicality that's unique to the women's structure, or what is the consciousness behind that, please?
Yes, the consciousness behind holding on that creates the cellulite, that creates the additional fat. There is a tendency in the females to hold on more so than in the males. Males tend to, this is in general, tend to know how to compartmentalize and to let things go. Females, in their innate structure of having to hold on to 9 months to create a baby, there's a holding on to. There's neurological structures in the human form for the female to have a tendency to hold on. There are certain biological connections to the children that are also about holding on. Those cords, the umbilical cord, in physical terms, is disconnected, but in emotional and energetic terms, it is still very much connected. So there is a natural tendency for the female body to hold, to know how to hold on to. The processing of food and energies can be extremely challenging to the human structure. The more that you allow the human physical structure to feel the energetic vibrations, rather than holding on to its physical vibration, it can allow for the fat and the cellulite to be released, knowing that it does not need to be stored and held on to for protection. There is a protective mechanism that occurs with the buildup of excess weight. In your consciousness, as humans, ask yourself, what are you trying to protect yourself from? What is it that you're not willing to confront? Confronting does not have to be a bad thing. It's about becoming more aware, being able to look in the mirror at yourself and ask, what is it that you truly want? And what is it that you don't want? And where are you focusing that intention? Where there is attention of conscious thought is what is created. Many times, when you look into the mirror, you may see what you don't want to see. And in that confrontation creates more of what you don't want to see. Can you look in the mirror and truly see the beauty of who you are? The form, how the body responds, how the body can expand. It can allow for expansion at the physical level, what some may call becoming overweight. And yet it doesn't have to be called that. It can be just simply an expansion of the physical. And in the next moment, if you choose to play with being lean, you can create that. And you can play with, well, let me see how my body feels being lean. The more aware you are of how your body is forming based on your beliefs and based on your emotional levels of protectionism or separateness. What happens if somebody sees that you're beautiful? Do you then feel more vulnerable? Do you realize that you have the power within you to be the strong warrior in a peaceful way, a peaceful warrior in a feminine form without needing to feel vulnerable, that if you are attractive, that then that attention may bring vibrations that are not safe for you. Instead, stand in your beauty and in your power, knowing that as you align with that divine, you are eternally safe. And you, aligning with your divine, allows for the creative experiences that you choose.
Very beautiful. Thank you so very much. I know that that's going to speak to so many people. There are things that people have also experienced staying on the body in consciousness, like what you would say, like knots. Maybe they're like cholesterol knots around the eyes, or like little tumorous growths on the body, or dry skin. How would you recommend that we speak to our bodies to let them know that they don't have to be in a state that we imagine that we see with our minds?
So as you see dry skin, you ask your skin, how would you like to be pampered? How would you like to be cared for? Allow the skin to share with you. The skin may say, oh, I would like to receive a honey mask. Or it may say, I would like to have more hydration. Allow your awareness to be in relationship with your skin. As with tumors or other anomalies in the health system, too much cholesterol, etc. Again, inviting the conversation and the relationship. Tumor, what is it that you represent? Are you what is it? Are you a stagnant belief that no longer needs to be cared for or held on to? Or are you a belief that would like to be transformed, transmuted? Inflammation in the body. What is it that is inflaming you? Cholesterol. High levels. What is that? Inflammation. Ask, what would help cool me down? What would help calm my system? Ask your cells. They will share with you. Being willing to listen and not overrule it with the mind. The body may be craving a pineapple, and instead you ignore it and choose a milkshake. There's nothing wrong with that. It's all about the experience of returning the body, mind, heart, and soul to a place of wholeness. And there are going to be times when your heart overrules your mind and your mind overrules your heart. And it all is in the experience of wholeness. None of it needs to be judged. Just observe. Observe and choose again. Now what do you want? Now what do you want to create?
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you for your energy. My blessings to the divine.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Beautiful, beautiful information. I was really liking what you were saying about why, what are you protecting yourself from with excess weight? And I wanted to ask a question that's been ruminating in my mind about something you had said earlier as well about just being willing to play. I would say, what do you say to those that are dealing with inexplicable trauma, whether it be sexual, mental, physical, addiction, and they're really lost? To say to them to play, what does that mean for them as far as how do they move past that and get to the state where they're willing to even play? And, you know, we maybe also, instead of weight, maybe an addiction is a barrier or something else is a barrier as a protection. So what would you say to someone who is dealing with what you would call just extreme trauma?
The extreme trauma is an experience in separation.
Mm-hmm.
One can choose to recognize that they are in extreme trauma and that they've experienced extreme situations of separation. Have compassion for where you are at in that experience. Ask yourself, is that something you want to continue with? There are humans who want to continue playing with those experiences. It does not have to be judged. For those who want to play and play with those that are in those levels of trauma, know that you cannot save another through direct intervention. And what we mean by this is that the more you allow yourself to be playful, it overflows to the people around you who may be in a place of separation, experiencing extreme levels of trauma. And as that vibration ripples out and overflows from you, it allows for those that are in that state to feel something different if they choose. Ultimately, each needs to understand that in their new place of awareness, if they so choose, they can create something different. It doesn't make the previous experiences go away, but there can be an understanding and a knowing that from this point forward, life can be different if you choose. There is, as you said about addictions, there is a chemical response within the human structure that humans can become addicted to. The level of hormones that are released in certain situations can become addictive in itself. And just as many humans are addicted to sugar, you can still choose how you want to vibrate with the sugar. So as with trauma, you can choose how you want to vibrate with the trauma. What do you want to experience next from the place of the present and the now?
Thank you. Did you have more? I don't want to cut you off. I'm sorry.
Know that if you truly want to help others who are in a place of trauma, keep showing up in your playful state and let that overflow so that they have something, a place of hopefulness, because they can see it in someone else. And then they can know that it's possible. The best way to help another is to represent that playful loving in action through the physical human form. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm going to take some questions from the YouTube chat. So the people aren't in the room with us, but they are watching live and they're giving their questions. There's a question from Matt Wally. He says, can you elaborate on trust and how to trust?
Yes, trust is a knowing within you that you can trust you. What does trusting you look like? When you can look in the mirror and say, I love you, and you love me, and in our wholeness, we are the divine. That trust is in allowing experiences to arise without judgment of perfection. Trust is knowing that you are eternal. that you are a gift in the form that you are. Developing trust is knowing that you can just have experiences, and that through those experiences, you learn about life. You learn about each other. You learn about what you prefer. And allowing those preferences to be your version of life. It develops, it evolves. Why do you trust another person? Because you think they care. Because you think they may love you. That's the typical human version of trust. I trust you because I know you love me. I trust you because I know you care for me. When you do that internally within you, that's the self-trust, the one that's aligned with the divine in you, that allows for the most playfulness, that allows for that co-creation with others, to play together, to have fun, to enjoy your physicality. We hope this helps you.
Thank you very much. There's another question here. It's from Beauty Joan. She says, can you please enlighten me? This is a very nice question. What is wholeness if there are boundaries?
Yes.
Yes.
When you stand in your wholeness, there are no need for boundaries. In the wholeness of who you are, you exude so much love and light that nothing can harm you. Humans create boundaries to protect themselves. When you have that level of self-trust and the alignment with your divine, and you're in your vibration of playfulness, that love and that light is so fully emanating from you that there's nothing that can hurt you, because the vibration that you're at only attracts more of that vibration that you're exuding. That is what we mean by wholeness, and understanding that in your physical form, you are a cup within the ocean of existence. Imagine going to the ocean and knowing that that ocean represents all of existence. And you allow your form to be one representation of that ocean. You can take a coffee cup and say, okay, that's my version of the ocean. Or maybe it's a beer bottle or a Coca-Cola can. We purposely choose these vessels as an example. Some may feel that soda is not healthy or the beer is not healthy. There's all these judgments about the vibrations of what is right and what is wrong. In your wholeness, you see them all as experiences. Maybe you choose to be a bottle of kombucha or a green smoothie? Do these invoke different judgments within you about the vessel that you choose? We invite you to let that go. To just know that there are preferences in the human life experience. There does not need to be judgment of right and wrong. Preferences. Oh, prefer to live a life full of love, full of fun. What can be co-created together? What kind of advances can still be made? What kind of healing can take place on the planet and beyond? Allowing yourself to be in that wholeness invites that co-creative in your so-called singular self. We hope that helps.
Thank you very much. There's a very nice question from Ian. He says, how do we find our soul life's plan? And as an example, he says, why did I choose South Africa as a birthplace? I feel like I'm holding in a holding pattern, he says, even when applying manifesting techniques. But why, how do we find our soul life's plan?
Yes, as humans, your soul life plan evolves just as you evolve in your everyday life. There is a lot of discussion about your purpose. It's not as much about purpose as playfulness. How do you want to play throughout your life? And that evolves. How do you want to play in South Africa? There's a sense that, oh, must find my purpose in life, creates a drive, creates a sense of that I'm not there yet, creates a sense of, how do I know? So much doubt. Is that really what you want to create? Playfulness. Allow yourself to be in the moment of that vibration, in that fullness and recognition of your wholeness. What do you want to co-create with others? It may be sitting on the beach, watching the sun set and moon rise at the same time. It may be co-creating with others how to solve world hunger or scarcity of water in certain regions of the world. And in the next moment, it may be sailing with a group of friends around the Fiji Islands. We encourage you not to get caught up in chasing what your life purpose is. Allowing yourself to feel the wholeness of who you truly are, aligning with the divine in you, allowing that playfulness to come forth. We would encourage you to see that as your purpose, to play in the moment and have fun with others, and help for there to be an equitable experience by being an example of that, so that others who may not feel playful might see and might feel how it is possible.
Thank you. And there's one more question. Let me see. Oh, let me go back to the room. We have a question from the other Susan Mulheron. Go ahead, Susan.
Hello, Divine Realm. My question relates to when we come to Earth in lifetimes, we can bring with us a fractal or aspect of an archangel or ascended master to assist us on our journey, which I don't know if that's like an energetic essence or a part of their consciousness, but I was wondering if you could speak about that. And then also when we leave our physical form to cross over, do we then release the consciousness or energy of these other beings at that time?
Yes, there are many that are available to you, not just a singular one. So if you'd like to call on Archangel Michael to help you feel some courage in a moment, or in another moment, call on Archangel Raphael to assist you with some healing, or to call on the compassion of Mother Mary, allowing Christ consciousness to enter your heart with understanding forgiveness and love. All of these beings are available to you, are available to all. Your connection through wholeness is there. You may have favorites that you call upon, that you have stronger connections with based on where you're at in your particular life journey. Allow yourself to be open to all of those angelic and intergalactic beings that are available to assist you in your human life. There are aspects of you that will recall previous timelines, lifelines of when you may have been an ascended master or an intergalactic being on another planet. Allow yourself to go play there and recall those memories in your meditations. And ask, how can you bring those qualities into your human life and into this earth realm that you live in now? We encourage you to do that more and more, all of you.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
I have one more question. I know that as we raise in consciousness, as our planet is going through her ascension process, I've noticed I've been connecting more and more with other dimensional beings in my channeling, such as dragons, unicorns, etc., and that they are here to assist us with our ascension as well. Could you speak a little bit about some of these beings that are, I think, mainly in the fifth dimension, that are kind of becoming more and more more and more present and in our awareness as we're raising our vibration, and more about their role in our reconnection with them?
Yes, they are here to help bring out your playfulness, your sense of innocence and childlike nature. to bring out your levels of curiosity, to raise them, to rise to the occasion, to remember that all of these beings are here to play with. The unicorns, the dragons, yes, the fairies. They're all showing themselves more and more as the human vibration is rising. You can see them more clearly and play with them. Go out into nature. You will find your fairies, your unicorns, and your dragons. They all represent different mystical qualities. Play with your relationships with them. In the lightness of the unicorn, in the magic of the fairies, the dragons, and the level of life force that they carry to imbue you with more life force, that fire that lies within you. Allow yourself to be in relationship with all of it. Yes, they are here to remind humans that there is so much more to life than what you see on the surface. That it truly is a magical playground.
Yes, I'm beginning to see that more and more in my own life. So, and learning to play even more in my every now moment. So thank you very much. Much love.
You're welcome.
There's a question from the YouTube chat, and it's a very normal question we have, but it's a question about disclosure when it comes to our extraterrestrial friends and family. Do you have any information on when sort of full disclosure will come into the consciousness of the Earth collective, the human collective?
That disclosure comes by each of you as individuals connecting through your ancestry that goes beyond planet Earth. As each of you open to connecting with your lineage, it will allow the collective to form and be comfortable with that. So the when depends on each of you. When each of you is interested to connect, and you allow yourself to listen, individually, you create a new collective.
Thank you.
It is time for us to go now.
Okay.
We appreciate this time we've had with you. We are never actually leaving you. It is just time to allow for Terri to return.
We thank you so very much, Ed. It's been a great pleasure and an honor and a great awakening and expansion for us to speak with you. So thank you very much, and we hope to speak to you again soon.
And yes, and we always let everyone know that we speak to, that we are already within you. You can tap in within you to connect to the divine realm, You are part of that wholeness. You are the wholeness. We are in you. You are in us. We are together in the divine realm, in that consciousness where everything exists, where no thing exists, the realm of pure potentiality and infinite possibilities. Thank you for your questions, for your interest, for your evolution, for your awareness. May playfulness be felt in your physical form. Thank you. Hi.
Hi, thank you. Wow, what a beautiful channeling. What beautiful, lovely, gracious information. Are you okay?
Ooh, yeah, just a lot of vibration in my physical form that I'm not always. Yes, those questions were so beautiful. There was a lot of energy coming through my physical form that I'm adjusting to. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I see it. Thank you. It's fantastic. I don't if you look like you're like, oh, this is it. I'm done. I'm finished. Do you usually channel for so long? Is this a long?
No, this feels really long as in my body. I think it was probably due to the high vibration questions that were being asked.
Questions. Yeah.
They were very high vibrational questions. So yeah, my body's just like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for bringing all that through. And there's a lot of topics that should be talked about, but a lot of times you don't get those kind of questions. And so was really beautifully pleased with all of the high vibe questions to a high vibe realm. Yeah. So for people who are watching you in the YouTube chat, I put how to contact you. Do you lead groups and you do private sessions? Tell people what you do.
Yeah, so I do both. So with my coaching, I bring in the divine realm for whatever it is that you want more of or less of in your life. That's basically what it comes down to. And so based on how you answer what you want more of and what you want less of in your life determines a customized approach to facilitating what that is you would like to realize. So, and I talk about the personal best to manifest your life dreams, and knowing that your personal best is just showing up in any moment in a space of awareness, right? A space of conscious awareness. And yes, we all as humans are going to slip into our spaces of, just automatic pilot. That's until our nervous systems can evolve enough so that we are in a full place of total awareness and consciousness and wholeness all the time. That's just going to be a neurological, and let's constantly keep practicing that, right? So my role is just to facilitate your journey to that space of wholeness. And I have the divine realm that comes in and shares in that facilitation as well. So.
Well, I have to say your channeling has just evolved since the first time that I saw you channel to now. It's just more full and more expanded, I think, even than before. And it's just beautiful to see.
I have to acknowledge Susan James for connecting me with Peter Dennis, because Peter Dennis really, he helps people hone their channeling abilities. And he has helped me tremendously to do that over the course of the last year. So
Yeah, it's really beautiful to see. So I'm so happy for you and for that you can bring through this beautiful information. So
thank you.
when we leave, we usually do a blessing. So I want to ask, maybe you'll do a blessing for us as we depart today. Would you?
Yes. And as I was hearing the light language at the beginning, blessings, the blessings at the beginning, light language, I would like to share mine.
Perfect. Great.
Hucolo, hacha hatolia chichapada haya, akata halala badida, achokola haikalabrida haya, ako hayarbra, alirgadida, ajapada didi, akada de bodere, ajahaha li pa.
Thank you so much, Terri. Thank you. It's been so great. My best to Aloya. Hope to see you guys soon sometime, maybe in person, if I can ever get to the States. Yeah.
Or we'll come visit you in India.
You are always 100% welcome. Absolutely.
Thank you.
So,
thank you.
Yes. Okay. So everyone, her information is there in the description of the YouTube chat. So please reach out. And you have a website?
Yes, oneworldliving.net, and that's ONE.
Okay.
So oneworldliving.net.
Yes. Thank you. All right, everyone. So next week we'll be back with Jim. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe. And if you would like to support us on Human Colony for everything we're doing, please become a Hucolo Club member. You can go to hucolo.org and go to Hucolo Club or become a subscriber, Hucolo Club, and for $10 a month, you have access to all of the things we're doing, and you can be in the room with us, and it helps us pay for our website and all of our Zoom and all of these things that we do, and for some dogs in India that we're supporting and feeding. So yeah,
That's beautiful.
Thank you. All right, thank you so much. Much love to you, and we'll see you next time. Have a great week, everybody.
Thank you all.